Get inspired, stay inspired, where we get real about weight loss. All right, team, let's start talking about today's topic, which is Oprah's special that she had the other night. It's called an Oprah special: Shame, Blame, and the Weight Loss Revolution. So let's talk about it.
Yeah. I watched it. I think we all watched it. And, Oprah is influential on everything she does. Weight loss in this country, obesity in this country is at epidemic. Obesity is at epidemic levels.
Yes.
And there's always the latest, greatest thing. And there's always everyone trying the latest, greatest thing. It is, I agree, it is a chronic struggle for some people to lose the weight and, keep it off.
Let me add some numbers to that, Donna, before you keep going. According to WHO, right, 1 in 8 adults worldwide have obesity. And on top of that, more than 160 million children and adolescents worldwide are obese. So you just talked about, the obesity in this world. Well, I wanted to tag some numbers to that because it is the truth.
Yeah. It's scary. It's super scary with the kids.
It
right?
is.
Because
Dr. Donna knows
the kids
that's
are going to
my
grow
pet
up to
peeve.
be obese adults.
Yeah, Dr. Donna knows that that's my pet peeve, that obese children irk me because, as a parent, it's to an extent our responsibility to teach our children better habits. But I think where the disconnect happens is that a lot of the adults don't know the better habits to implement into their own lives. So, but I understand, I was watching the special and there was some value to some of the things that Oprah mentioned. Okay. I do understand that there is a stigma with being overweight. I do fully believe that people discriminate against the overweight. There's a shame to being overweight. There is this whole thing that you should be able to control yourself. There's this thing that you should know better. Yeah. So I 1,000% am in agreement with that aspect of what was said in that special. That's why we developed Inspire.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
That's why we're here.
So we all
and Dr. Marty, I went through it, so I can speak about that. Look, I lost over 100 pounds. And so when I was at that time period, like I went to the doctor, if I went to the doctor with a cold, it's because you're overweight, you have to lose weight. I went with a hangnail, it's because you have to lose weight. And so, I 100% agree that there is that stigma. But what's happening is you go into your doctor's office and they tell you have to lose weight, but they don't tell you how. They don't give you the direction to do that. They don't give you the education to do that. So you're left leaving that doctor's office kind of with your head down, wondering, now what do I do?
And then people don't go to the doctor because they know that's what they're going to be told. That's where the shame comes from. Like, you're fat, you gotta lose weight. Like, what the heck? And then they give you like an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper with some, with like 5 cents
a diet from 1972.
What the heck? Let me read this straight from Oprah, which is in line with what you said, Dr. Marty. I come to this conversation with the hope that we can start releasing the stigma and the shame and the judgment to stop shaming other people for being overweight or how they choose to lose or not lose weight and not lose weight. And most importantly, to stop shaming ourselves. So I agree, like, we've all walked through that. The shaming part, I agree with. The judgment part, the stigma part, I agree with. But I have to say that there's some things that I don't agree with. For example, or how they choose to lose. I agree with that. Like, you got to do what works for you, or not lose. That part is tricky for me because I feel like we're kind of, what's the words? we're kind of, I don't know if enabling is the word or what it is.
I was thinking that same thing, enable.
It's not healthy to be obese. It's not healthy to be large. So we're in a society that's accepting this thing that, you know, can be potentially clinically dangerous for people. We gotta talk about that. Like, yes, you're obese.
I agree.
And it's not at all, it's not a beauty thing, because I think that's where the body shaming comes in. It's not a beauty thing. I think that there's gorgeous people of all shapes and sizes, but are they all healthy? Because also, if you are morbidly obese, or if you're obese or seriously overweight and you're in your 20s, there's a good chance you're not experiencing a whole lot of health issues that come along with that.
It'll catch up with you for sure.
But eventually your body quits forgiving you. And then you end up with chronic lifelong conditions that can kill you. And there's definitely a higher incidence of that happening when you're overweight than when you are at a healthy weight for your body.
For sure.
Period.
I agree with that. And you know what? It goes back to like having the shame of going to the doctor. So if you're overweight or obese and you choose to, you know what? I'm okay with that. Do they actually go to the doctor and find out if they have anything underlying? Type 2 diabetes, people don't find out until something seriously wrong.
Until a crisis.
High blood pressure, the high cholesterol, all these different fatty liver. We are seeing a lot of people coming into our clinics with, oh yeah, my doctor just told me I have fatty liver, and you're 35 years old. That's serious. That's serious.
How about, so many younger people, like in their 20s, that their menstrual cycle, they're having issues with their menstrual cycle, they're having hormonal issues, PCOS,
is through the roof.
PCOS all over the place. Like, people have to understand that the chronic diseases it's not from you go to sleep at night and then the next morning you wake up with this chronic disease and then now you're diagnosed. It's like compounded from the very beginning of time. And it compounds, right? And then at some point your body screams at you and is like, listen, I can't handle all the sugar anymore. I'm insulin resistant because I'm trying to do what I can, but listen, you got to do something here for me.
But where does it come from, right? Where does it come from? It comes from the food. It's an inflammatory process from the food. It's not lack of a weight loss medication. It's not lack
obviously.
It's the food, right?
And here's the thing.
Okay. Let's go to the next thing, because this is like
we could talk about this for days.
We all get so excited about this because we're all so passionate about what we do.
What you just said, Dr. Donna, goes to the next thing, which I am so about. Oprah said that obesity is a disease.
I don't disagree.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. Here's the thing. Let's put this into the light of other diseases. Okay. If you go to your cardiologist and you are 42 years old and your cardiologist tells you you are developing heart disease, I need you to take this medication and also implement the lifestyle changes so you don't have a stroke and die by the time you're 50. If you are type 2 diabetic, they give you a medication and they also tell you, and you also should implement the lifestyle changes to make sure that you don't end up dependent on insulin for the rest of your life, right? So if at least if you're going to a responsible doctor, they are asking you to change what you're doing in your daily life and not just become dependent on a drug in order to in order to control the condition. That is where, I'm sorry, Oprah, I had to draw the line.
So the definition of obesity, of a disease, is a medical condition with an identifiable cause.
Oh, I know what the cause is.
So in my mind, I don't think that obesity is like a disease. I don't know. I think I may have my definitions a little weird, but I think that it's a result of certain things. Is that what that means? Because I think
Yeah,
that,
because most high blood pressure, which is considered a disease, is idiopathic, which means they don't know where it comes from.
Yeah.
So you can't really assign, this, X plus Y equals Z. So I don't disagree that it's, that sometimes it's something that's out of your control to an extent.
Yeah.
But I feel that saying that it's a condition and you should just take something and it goes away is, first of all, very simplistic and also very enabling, because I think we're better than that. I think we do have some control over what we do.
But I do think that it could be a chronic thing, because it's almost like any other condition or disease that somebody has, that they have to make lifelong changes in order to keep it at bay. In order
Correct.
to look, some of the high blood pressures are idiopathic or inherited. Hey, my mother has high blood pressure, my father has high blood pressure. It is what it is. And so you have to make those changes for the rest of your life. And I think obesity is the same thing. Look, I mean, I was always overweight as a child. I lost over 100 pounds, and I'm still, working at it, but I'm still cautious as I can't eat that. Or I can't, you know what, if I want a piece of cake, I'm going to have it once a week because I know how it affects me. And so
Yeah.
I do agree that it's a lifelong thing that you have to be conscious about.
And so full circle. And so back to the beginning. Okay. Now, I mean, and we get this on social media. We all have social media. How many ads for weight loss injections are popping onto your social media every single time you scroll through anything?
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of the big companies that are, a lot of the big weight loss management companies are jumping on board with this. And that's where I have a huge problem, because I understand. And you know what? I'm not even disagreeing that some people, this might be a huge benefit to.
I agree with you with that.
Yeah.
I think some people need it.
Yeah.
I 100% agree that this could be a miracle life-changing drug for some people. If you're to the point where, you're going to basically die if you can't lose the weight, if you are to the point where bariatric surgery is the only option that your doctor has given you because you have a condition, you know what? Try this first.
Or if you've had bariatric surgery and regained the weight, because
we have a
all
lot
day
of those.
long we have people coming
all day
in
long we have
with that.
Look,
However,
go
ahead. No, go for it.
I have a dear, dear, dear friend of mine. That she is somebody that should be on these medications. Okay. Why? Because her and her doctor have a really hard time controlling her blood sugar levels. And she's constantly going like this. And because she's constantly going like this, she's gained a lot of weight. And she has the, going down 30 pounds and coming up and then going down and And she was on Manjaro, and then when this whole craze started happening, she couldn't get Manjaro anymore. So then she gained all the way back. Somebody that should have access to these drugs couldn't access them.
Yeah.
So now she gained all the way back. Now all her sugar levels are again all over the place. And I told her, listen, let me help you. We gotta help you get back on it because she needs that.
Yeah. But
that is the example of what we're talking about.
But you know what, too, Martha, you just brought up a really good point. That yo-yo, lose 30 pounds, gain 30 pounds, lose 30 pounds, gain 30 pounds. The effect that has on the heart, that's something nobody talks about. Like, and you mentioned, some of these people, they couldn't get the medications. We actually had a client who's a pharmacist, and his doctor prescribed the weight loss medication for him. And he goes, I'm not taking that. He goes, I hear the side effects of people coming in. He goes, and He goes, we can't even get it. He goes, we have people coming into our pharmacy that we can't give them the dosage that they want. Now they're off of it for 30 days. They're all regaining the weight. He goes, I don't want that for me. I want to be able to do it. But just the thought of like, your heart is a muscle and your heart, works hard. So you gain 30 pounds, you lose 30 pounds, you regain it. What's happening to your heart?
Here's the other thing though, of, the heart is a muscle, what's happening to your heart. We were actually just talking about this between the three of us a little while ago. These weight loss injections, because you can get them, now they have them compounded. Like I said, I get 20 ads a day for these things because, somebody's listening and it shows up on your feed anytime you talk about something,
sure,
right?
After we're done with this, we're going to get them all.
All day
That's
long,
so
right?
weird.
Yeah.
So you can there's access, like, maybe not to the brand name, but there's access right now. The problem is, once again, uncontrolled access, not monitored access. And the number one thing that I don't think anybody tells you is that once you get on this, you have to stay on it for the rest of your life.
Yep.
There is no way out. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One of the main reasons, and this is what I've seen in my office, because we do body composition analysis on people every time they come in. We want to make sure that they're a good candidate,
office, right?
We want to make sure that they're a good candidate for a program. And our program is a fat loss program, right? We want you to lose weight, but we want you to lose weight as healthy as possible. And that means getting rid of fat in your body. These medications, and this has been proven, this is not us, talking because we want to say a certain thing. And now I'm seeing it in my office.
Yeah.
This medication eats away at your muscle mass. Eats away at your muscle mass. So it's not just a matter of you taking it and you losing weight. You're losing weight because you're literally starving yourself. It takes away your appetite. So you're starving yourself. You're not eating anything, good, bad, or ugly, right? And this wastes away at your muscle mass. It is a very delicate art to lose weight in a healthy way and preserve your muscle mass so that your metabolism doesn't tank. So that someday, when you're on a maintenance part, right, when you're at the weight you want to be, you can maintain it. When you tank your muscle mass, and this, 50% of what people are losing is muscle. So that's another thing. Like, if we think about it.
And how hard is it to gain it back?
Oh my gosh.
It gets harder. It gets harder when you're in your 50s as a woman. I think it's harder for women.
Horrible.
Because of our hormonal changes. Once we get perimenopausal and menopausal and all that, men will never understand that, by the way.
There's two things you don't want to mess with. Muscle mass, I mean, there's more than two, but top two for me. Muscle mass and your gut. I mean, your gut is your second brain. Like, you don't want to mess with your gut. And that's exactly what these injections do. I was listening to a podcast, really great podcast. An obesity physician was saying that these injections are a short-term fix for long-term consequence. Because, she was saying how, when you're in your 70s and 80s, you need that muscle to be able to get off a chair.
Yeah,
like we're not talking about going to exercise. We're talking about like your daily
mobility.
Just, sit on the toilet. You need muscle. you need muscle for everything. So you're taking these injections, and you're in your 50s, 40s, 50s, whatever. And studies have shown that there's a huge lean mass that people are losing, right? Muscle mass people are losing. Then you gotta work your ass off to freaking gain it back. Because
literally,
you need to be able to sit down and get up.
And then back to what I was saying, you're going to be on this forever. So it's going to continue to eat away at your muscle mass.
Yeah, and they don't tell you that you're going to be on it forever. They don't. And they'll tell you have to be on a maintenance dose or else, because when people completely stop it, and there are people that talk about this, you can just search it on the internet too, that, hey, their insurance company stopped paying and now they can't get access. Who can afford $1,400 a month to pay for this medication?
Even
they
even the
regain their
off-brand
weight
one.
back and then some.
It's
Even
really,
the off-brand, even if you're taking a compounded one, you're looking between $300 and $600 depending on where you're getting it, and now you don't know
Yeah.
the quality because the control is not there. So, you know,
And
whatever.
nobody's monitoring you for symptoms. Nobody's giving you
Correct.
nutritional guidance. And well, you know, a lot of these doctors don't give you the nutritional guidance anyway, with it, which I think is important. You know,
No, it's crucial.
I mean, look, in the history of weight loss medications, if you really go down that rabbit hole, the history of weight loss medications, I remember in the 90s, the FinFan,
Fen Redux.
I was living down in Atlanta at the time. Dr. Marty, you were living down there too.
Yeah.
I remember those big clinics on every single corner.
Big sign. Yeah.
Yeah. And what happened? It was the latest and greatest thing. Everybody was on it. And what happened?
People started dying. People started dying. Yeah.
People started enlarged hearts, lung issues, things like that. You know, so look, in our world, there is not one thing that's going to be the fix.
No.
It's not. It's a combination of things. And it's the education part of it.
Yeah.
You have to learn. When you learn, when you understand something, it becomes easier. It's not easy. It's never going to be easy. It's going to be easier having those tools in order to keep moving forward and making the best decision for your nutrition.
Well, that's
what
Oprah talked about too, since we're talking about Oprah, is like, it's okay it's okay if you don't lose the weight with just diet and exercise. There's people out there that says, you just have to diet and exercise.
No.
That is not the case. I agree with Oprah on that, but I don't agree that the injections is the answer for everybody. And
here's the other thing with injections. What if I told you that if you weigh 200 pounds, you are going to max out, typically, unless you're employing other tactics, okay? Just taking the medication alone, the average person maxes out at a 40-pound weight loss over the course of a year.
Yeah.
Okay, and that sounds fantastic. That sounds fantastic, but in our office, we do that in what, 10 weeks?
Yeah, it's not fantastic. And by the
it's
way,
it's
fat mass, not,
it's, right. Yeah. So there's other ways. There's other ways. Like don't go straight to a drug that you have to basically chronically be on for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
When there are alternatives that are going to give you better, faster, healthier results and educate you.
Yeah.
It's just scary. It's just scary to see and hear. Look, we see it in our offices. People who have been on it for months, and why are they in our office? They're not getting the results they want. Their doctors have put them on it, but there's no nutritional guidance for them. And there's still, you know, and when we go over, because we do a detailed consultation, we go over nutrition, we go over, you know, what they eat and reasons and triggers and all that. That's a whole other discussion, but we go over the nutrition. A lot of people on these medications, their nutrition is no better than before they were on that medication. So they're eating less of their junk.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And where do they get their nutrition from? And that's why the body is breaking down the muscle and not the fat. Because the body needs the nutrients and it's going to go to the muscles.
Let me share like true life story. That first of all, like I would say, it's very safe for me to say that 45 to 55% of the consultations that we see right now are all failures of these injections. All of them.
That's true.
But there was one in particular that it just broke my heart. And it broke my heart because of the following. 72-year-old male, then the cutest. I wanted to adopt him and put him in my pocket and take him home. He was the cutest thing ever. He should have never been on these injections. He just suffers from constipation, not chronic constipation, but constipation.
Yep.
He has history of pancreatic cancer. Okay.
Nope.
But the doctor put him on the injection because he wanted to lose 30 pounds. So he goes on these injections. It took him 7 months to get rid of 30 pounds of a mixture of muscle and fat and water and whatever. But now, after 7 months on the injection, now he has chronic constipation. So now he has to take Linzess to go to the bathroom and have a bowel movement. So now we compounded we put on top of that another prescription drug in order for this person to go to the bathroom. Well, then after that, the doctor took him off of it because now there was other issues. So as soon as he was off, he gained the 30 pounds back because, again, you got to be on it forever. If not, you're going to be hangry, you're going to be miserable, you're going to stuff your face. This is, that thing that shuts off the food noise and suppress your appetite and this and the other is gone. And your habits are still there. So, gain the 30 pounds back like this. He comes to me but now I didn't qualify him because now he has the chronic constipation, but they found lesions in his pancreas. And after 72 years, he now has hypothyroidism. And I looked at him, I said, listen, it will be my honor to help you because I can help you naturally in a healthy way to get rid of fat, but not muscle. However, your number one thing right now, and go back to your oncologist and make sure that your pancreas is okay and your lesions, go take care of that. And then
that's scary.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, this person should have never been on these injections.
No. And I'm sure there's so many stories like that.
And how fast do men lose 30 pounds in our office? Come on now. Come on now.
That's like
I know.
6 to 8 weeks. Maybe.
We had a guy do our short program. He did our 3-week. And he lost 22 pounds. We were happy, but we were angry because women don't lose that fast. But
yeah, we've had, I think our biggest male loser has been like 54 pounds in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And it was an older guy too. This is not a young guy, an older guy. It's like, come on.
Anyways, the bottom line is we do agree with Oprah on some things and not on others.
But
the bottom line is
I would love to have this conversation with Oprah. Come on, Oprah, give us a call.
Yes, come on, Oprah. The bottom line is that it's okay to have help to lose your fat mass and your weight. But do it in a way that is going to give you life and not chronic disease.
Do it in a sustainable way.
And don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed that you're overweight.
Yeah. Also, let's see. I agree that it's not about willpower.
I agree.
I agree with that. Discipline has a lot to do with that because, when the willpower goes away, you got to be disciplined to keep it going. So those that are watching, at the end of the day, you could lose weight. It's okay to ask for help, but ask for the right help. And so if you're wondering what we do, we just have you eat a balanced diet and we stimulate your metabolism to get your body to burn fat. And we teach you a lot so you can maintain on your own. Period. End of story. And we protect your muscle mass. And we have thousands of clients that are super successful in maintaining. So give us a shout if you need help in a really healthy way. All right. I think we can continue this conversation. We need to do another segment
for hours.
All right, guys.
Next week.
Next week. That's right. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.